fun, tarnation!
I meant to do that.
Hey folks, this is Applegeek, and it is time to watch Season 9, Episode 6 of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Just a real quick announcement before I get into this here. I do just want to let everyone know that I've got a lot of things coming up here in my life in the near future where there's going to be events on weekends and things like that, just a lot of things going on that will potentially delay my releases. My goal is, as it has always been, to get a reaction to one episode finished before the next episode actually airs. I will continue to try to do my best to meet that goal, but just so you know, I don't really have a set release schedule right now, just because there's so many factors that are taking a lot of my time. So that's the best I can tell you guys for right now. I appreciate your continued patience as I work to try and get these done for you, and yeah, that's all I had to say about that. So. Alright, without any further ado, let's get to episode 6 here. I know absolutely nothing about this, so starting now.
Highlights in the world of sport.
Buckball!
Buckball fever has swept Equestria.
Oh!
What started as a backyard hobby for fruit farmers and the like has blossomed into a literal phenomenon with something for every pony. Unicorns, Pegasi, and Earth ponies alike can't get enough of this breakthrough sport.
Okay, where are we going with this?
And with its popularity still on the rise, Buckball fans want, nay demand, an instant push and catering to their new obsession. And the ponies of Appaloosa answered the call, delivering a state-of-the-art locale where fans Equestria over can celebrate their passion.
Oh, wow.
The Buckball Hall of Fame. Though, given the game's recent nature, the only inductees so far will be the members of the current championship team from Ponyville.
Oh, no.
Do you think they know we're here? I think they have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
A pretty good idea about what?
Snails, okay, I have no idea where this is going. Maybe an episode about dealing with being famous, dealing with your sports fans or whatever. I don't know. I did not expect we would be coming back to this, like, ever. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a good episode. Okay, so...
I can't believe the ponies of Appaloosa built this place. Yeah, especially after their team lost to us. They must really love
common ground.
Oh my gosh, it's you! I can't believe you're you! I mean, here! I mean, Team Ponyville! Yeah!
Yep, it does.
How much for an autograph?
It's for autographs, eh?
Snips.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Was the sound of one hoof clapping?
No! How many of you would pay for an autograph from my best friend Snail?
Everyone.
Wow, that's a lot of writing.
I'm so proud they decided to honor us. I never thought I'd get to be in anything like a Hall of Fame. Me neither! Unless you count a Royal Order of Party Planners Memorial Library, which I don't, because every party planner gets one of those eventually.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like something interesting. Oh. We got some new contenders here, I think.
I hope Snails finishes signing autographs soon. We can't play without him, and if we lose or forfeit one game, we'll be out of the tournament.
It's like a convention.
Well, he better get his flank over here then. You have to win the first few games without me cheering you on.
Eh?
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Applejack was too busy to come, so she made me promise to go to all the museum exhibits and tell her about them. I'm gonna try and get in first and beat the crowd so I can get back to the tournament
I
faster.
was just wondering where Applejack was.
You better hurry. Looks like there's already a line. What?
Uh-oh.
The doors aren't even open yet.
Who's in the...
What kind of sports fan
Is that
camps
Daring
out
Do?
for a museum?
the real question.
Oh, no, Quibble!
What kind of sports fan doesn't?
Oh! My word!
Dash, fancy meeting you here.
Fancy meeting me? I'm a sports pony. Of course I'd be here. What's fancy is you being here. If fancy meant confusing.
There's nothing fancy or confusing about it. You can't keep me away from that buckball rink. I'm the biggest fan there is.
Rink? What?
It's a buckball field. And
Yeah.
you are?
Oh, sure, but with all the bucking and the balling on the buckball field,
What?
which is where they play.
What is going on? Clearly he knows nothing about this
I
game.
wanted to be first inside to experience the grand history of the sport. I guess only a real fan would understand that. Oh, perfect timing. Rainbow Dash, I'd like you to meet Clear Sky, the most amazing pony I've ever met.
You met Daring Do, so that's probably an exaggeration.
Interesting
None
development.
taken. When it comes to describing your special sun pony, a little exaggeration's normal. And I feel the same way about you.
Oh!
And who is this?
This is my daughter, Windsprint.
And she is pretty amazing, too.
Wind, did you thank Quibble for camping out so we'd be first in line?
Thanks.
No problem.
This explains
probably
everything
would've
now.
Anyway, I mean, I can't wait to see the evolution of the buck basket from farm to field. That sounds just, I mean, oh, wow. there is a lot to see.
By the way, unicorn with a Pegasus daughter, so this is a more common thing, not just the cakes.
Oh, well, I mean, sure, that makes sense. We could just go to the tournament instead.
Oh.
No, Quibble planned this whole thing for us, and you could be a little more appreciative.
Oh. Well, the doors are open.
I kind of wanted to skip the museum, too.
Not helping.
I promised a friend that I'd check out all the exhibits.
Okay,
All of them?
You know,
Aw.
I'd like a chance to catch up with Rainbow Dash. Why don't we split up? We'll cover more ground that way, and
I didn't expect this to be a Rainbow Dash episode, so this is
You and Clear Sky,
a switch.
huh?
she's great. Honestly, I've never been happier. Which is why I
Aww.
need your help. I don't
Oh.
know what any of this stuff is.
What do you mean?
That much was obvious.
I don't know what it is.
A ball?
What, and this? No idea.
It's a basket.
Bats.
How do you not know what these are?
This is basic
I'm
information.
not 100% sure what bucking is. I literally know nothing about buckball or any other sport.
Well, I figured you weren't the sporty
Nerd.
kind of Equestria.
But Windsprint is, and her dad was some big.
He's been
athlete,
busy
too.
with
I
his books, you know.
can't compete with that.
Nothing necessarily wrong with that. I'm just
I really want things with Clear Sky to work out, but if Wind doesn't like me, I might as well give up.
oh, that's quitter talk.
Why?
They're a family. Even if it's okay with Clear Sky, I wouldn't ask them to make me a part of it if Windsprint isn't on board.
Aww.
I thought if I could convince Wind I was some big buckball fan, we'd have something to bond over, but I'm pretty sure she's on to me.
She doesn't like you because of
Give it a
that.
shot. It's easy. Yeah, I don't think she's fooled.
Could you talk to her? I mean, you're a famous sports pony. You'd know what to say. Maybe you could talk me up a little.
No problem. I've totally got your flank.
Oh,
Trust me, the game's a lot.
is that gonna be a
more to play
meme?
with apples.
Gonna look like a turtle there.
Play? Who do you think taught them? Of course, being a wonderful
This
takes
is
up most of my time,
true.
so I don't get to practice
Well,
as much as I'd
sort of.
like.
Wait, you're Rainbow Dash? The Wonderful?
Yeah.
Whoa, my dad was a great player too.
You don't say. You know, Whipple's pretty sporty too.
Wow, it's oh.
If you say so.
Yeah, face palm, exactly.
I've seen enough of this
Face
museum
wing?
for 3 Applejacks. Let's go watch some football.
That sounds awesome. Oh, but first, I got you a little surprise.
And it's
Oh, a book.
oh.
Not just a book, it's a buckball almanac. This thing has every buckball fact and statistic ever recorded.
Wow.
Common
I know,
ground. I get
never
it.
realized there was so much math in buckball. I mean, this game's got more numbers than ogres and oubliettes.
that snort.
I guess I could hold it for you, you know, so you don't have to carry it.
Can we go to the game now?
Sure, honey.
Aw.
Listen, Q, this trip was a lovely idea, and the
Q?
book was sweet, but you don't have to try so hard. Everything's gonna be fine. Mwah.
Aww.
Even my presents are in the ball court.
Do you mean ballpark?
Do I? I don't know. One thing's for sure, Wind is never gonna like a pony
Just
like
continue.
me.
Oh, come
Of
on.
course she will. She just needs to see her sporty side.
I don't have a sporty side.
Every pony has a sporty
talk
side,
over the dial.
and we're gonna find yours. By the
Uh-oh.
end of the day, I am gonna turn you into the sportiest pony in Equestria.
Oh, yeah, you probably should be afraid. You know, I give Quibble a lot of credit. He's trying to find some common ground with,
but it's a
you
terrible
know,
idea.
with his girlfriend
You can't
and
turn me
her
into
daughter,
an athlete.
basically.
It's impossible.
It's either
Especially with the
that
daughter,
or
that's-
be
yeah.
yourself and bond with Wind over comic books and role-playing games.
I have a
Aw.
17 charisma, right? Don't you think I tried? She doesn't even like daring do. She thinks she's not athletic enough.
Wow. We need to get started on operations.
Oh no! Oh no! That will not do.
Figure out what your sporty side
No pun
is.
intended.
We just need to see what your skills are. Every pony's got something. Speed. Strength.
Yeah, not likely.
Agility. Of course, some ponies can do it all.
You're
Oh.
amazing, but what about me?
Right. We should probably start small. I'll pass the ball to you, and you just pass it back to me. Okay?
Okay, uh-huh.
Buckball 101. No. Oh, come on. Swing and a miss.
Buckball!
Yeah.
Ow.
Okay. Maybe agility's not your thing. Ready?
If I say no, do I still have to run?
Yep.
Can we get on with this? Snails and I did so well with the autographs, we decided to expand. And these souvenirs are going to sell themselves.
Remember, think speed.
Got it.
On your marks, get set.
Speed.
I am speed. I was getting Lightning McQueen vibes right there. It-
Woo! Okay, what a race, right?
you ran like 3 feet. What?
For speed.
This was fun, but
So much for
I've
moving
got
at all.
to work.
Come on, Quibble. You got this.
I got this.
What is he? Oh my word!
This is
That
hopeless. I don't have any skills, not agility, not speed. I can't even lift more than one book, and I love books.
If we had time to train, I know.
You need
I
to
could
get out
make you
more,
the
dude.
perfect sports pony.
oh.
Or at least a sportier pony.
Who knows how long that would take? I need to get Wind to like me now.
Then just be there for her.
Maybe you're not the best athlete in Equestria, or the most coordinated, or the fastest, or even a little bit strong.
I'm sorry, wait, is this supposed to be making me feel better? Because it's not.
But none of that matters because I just figured out how to.
Pep
sport
talk of the
my-
century. Okay, so. Nice. You know, major props to Fluttershy for doing this in front of such a huge crowd.
Advance to the next round.
Man, she's grown a lot.
Like this, they'll never get off the field.
Aw.
Wow, the players from Ponyville are so good.
They sure are.
Quibble, where have you been?
She's so
I was
cute.
hoping we'd all watch the tournament together.
Exactly.
Just be there
Oh,
for
I've
her.
just been arranging for us to hang out with a few of my close friends from Team Ponyville. That is, if Wind's up for it.
Oh, so now we've resorted to bribery. Okay.
This is wonderful, Q. But I still feel like you're trying too hard to get Wind's approval.
This is so great. Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy are the best players out there. Well, you can thank Quibble. Wonderbolts, Bugball Stars. He's friends with the sportiest ponies around, so he must be pretty sporty too, right? Ooh, so this is Quibble Pants. Rainbow Dash told us all about how
Oh,
you
no.
spent the whole Daring Do convention geeking out together about books. And
even though at first she thought you were the most annoying fan pony she ever met, you two eventually became friends.
Stranger than fanfiction in a nutshell.
I guess even sports ponies agree. Quibble's a pony you like more and more over time.
Aww.
Knowing sports ponies isn't the same as being one.
Oh.
What's it like playing in front of all those fans?
Yes.
I guess you'll find out.
What?
What do you mean?
Yes, what do you
Oh
mean?
no! Oh no!
I think it's time we told Wind about your next surprise.
Uh-oh.
Wind really doesn't need any more surprises.
Yeah, this isn't gonna end well.
Another book.
A, books are awesome, and B, this is way more awesomer than that. For the tournament halftime show, you and Quibble are gonna play a game of buckball against Team Ponyville.
We're what?
Oh no! Oh no! Rainbow Dash, what in your time with Quibble Pants made you think this would ever be a good idea? Child prodigy, future buckball star, right there.
No amount of stretching
Wow.
is gonna make this okay. What were you thinking?
Look, you wanted to impress Wind Sprint, and this just made sense.
Really? How does me making a fool of myself in front of her, Sky, and a billion
Yes.
buckball fans make sense?
Exactly.
Don't worry, I've got your flank. I already talked to Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy. They're totally gonna make you look good.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
a bit of a
Maybe
tall
this is the
challenge.
absolute worst idea ever.
Mares and stallions.
It's up there.
Put your hooves together for today's halftime presentation as Buckball's biggest stars take on a team of fans just like you.
Oh boy. Come on, Quibble. Come on, you got this. Oh. Okay, sure.
And that's one for the Ponyville champ.
Aww.
Looks like these fans don't know what they signed up for.
No, they didn't sign up for it is the problem. Aww. Nice.
Oh no, Quibble's wide open, and I'll never get there in time to block.
Oh. Come on. Oh. Oh.
Ooh, looks like our fan team needs
Hey,
to
he
work
tried.
on their passing.
Oh. And yes! He shoots, he scores!
For the other side.
Oh!
3, Team Ponyville win.
I still give him credit for it. That was
47 of the expanded
that was an
Buckball
improvement.
Tournament rules that a goal is scored when an Earth Pony sends the ball into a basket, but it doesn't say which basket.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure every pony knows you're not supposed to score in the other team's goal.
But the rules don't say that.
Oh.
That goal is ours. It's only 2-1, and we can keep playing.
I don't want to. You're not a sports pony. It's not fun playing this game with you.
Oh.
I was just trying to get her to like me.
I know, but I told you you didn't need to. You and I have to rethink all of this.
Oh. Oh.
What are you doing out here?
Apparently, this book is as close to sports as I'll ever get.
Come on! That goal you scored for the other team was amazing!
Thanks for
was.
trying, Rainbow Dash, but I think we can both agree the whole Sportify idea was a big flop.
What? We haven't even gotten started! I've got like 7 more top
Dash!
to turn you into a super sporty pony!
Stop.
Wynn's already made up her mind, and so have I. Time to throw up the towel.
It's throw in the towel, and that's ridiculous! You can't just give up!
Wind and Sky
That's
deserve
true.
a pony they both like in their lives. Besides, Sky wants to rethink things, so I'm just beating her to the lunch.
It's beating her to the punch, and it's barely a sports reference. How do you not know that?
Because I don't know anything about sports! And pretending I did just made things worse.
So you should stop pretending!
Yes.
You are
Finally.
terrible at sports. You're uncoordinated, slow, weak,
Okay, again, not really making me feel better.
and you're completely clueless about anything having to do with athletics. But maybe I'm not the pony you should have come to for help.
Oh.
And
I wish we
Okay.
didn't even come here.
Quibble thought you'd like it.
Well, I don't, and I don't like him. Why do you like him?
Because he's kind and smart, and his friends certainly seem to care about him, which is always a good sign.
I don't care how many ponies care about him. They're not gonna make me forget about Dad.
Oh, sweetheart, I know Quibble's trying too hard, but he doesn't want you to stop loving your dad. He just wants you to like him. And I think maybe there's enough room in your heart to do both.
Hey there. Glad I found you because I have a confession to make. I know it's hard to imagine, but I'm really not all that sporty.
no.
No.
I'm sorry I was trying so hard to convince you otherwise. I just really wanted us to get along, but I guess it backfired. Do you think we could start over? Maybe we could watch some of the tournament together and you could teach me some sports stuff?
Yes! That's the way to do it. Yes. Oh.
Okay, that's their goal.
I'll try to remember that if I ever decide to play buckball again. But I probably won't. Oh, look, Pinkie Pie's gonna flip and triple bounce the ball into the goal.
These moves.
It's right here. Pinkie flips and triple bounce bucks over 83%
Common
of shots
ground.
from the northwest section of the field when the wind is blowing from the east.
Huh. I guess this book's kind
Wins
of
from the east.
Look,
Aw.
Sky, I know you're thinking of calling it quits between us, and after today, I don't blame you. But Wind and I just made a connection.
Calling it quits? What are you talking about?
You said you wanted to rethink things.
Yeah, things like having your friend help you pretend to be a sports pony so Wind would like you.
What? I don't.
You should. Clarification needed.
Mom, look what Quibble showed me. When Fluttershy flies higher than the other Pegasus, Pinkie scores 92% of the time, and it just happened.
Wow, you better watch out or you're gonna start to like books.
I guess that wouldn't be so bad.
Oh.
Huh. Looks like you didn't need sportiness, famous ponies, or lavish gifts to bond with Wind after all.
Technically, he still needed to buy her the book, but that's it.
Aww. Well, technically. Okay. Wow. Wow. Great episode. Oh my word. I did not really expect this kind of a story, but wow. I don't even have any immediate comments. Just stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, well, there's a lot more to this episode than first meets the eye. I've been made aware of all kinds of background information on this episode that after I got done watching it. So I'd like to share a little bit of that information with you here. Obviously, the showrunners wanted to bring back Patton Oswalt as Quibble Pants, as we saw. But initially, they were uncertain as to what the story would actually be about. Patton made it clear that he wanted his daughter Alice to be involved in this episode because she's been a fan of the show for a long time, and he originally wanted to be her in the first episode he was in, Stranger Than Fanfiction, back in season 6, but they were unable to accommodate her at that time for whatever reason. I don't know. But anyway. But then they realized that his current wife is also an actress and has a lot of voice acting experience, so it just kind of really made sense to end up turning this into a family affair. As such, Patton's wife, Meredith Salinger, voiced Clear Sky, and his daughter Alice voiced Windsprint, the daughter of Clear Sky. And this was actually Alice's voice acting debut, and from what Jim Miller has said about this on Twitter, it turns out she's a complete natural, just really rocked it out like a pro. So that really turned out pretty well. And the story idea that they eventually ended up with here, as we saw, actually resonated really well with Patton's family because they actually experienced something very similar firsthand. It turns out Patton's first wife actually passed away quite suddenly back in 2006, leaving behind him and his daughter. And then he later remarried, so Meredith is his second wife. And the story in this episode actually ended up kind of being a bit of role reversal because in this case it was the dad that was lost, not the mom, but it still hits pretty close to home for them. And given just the inherent chemistry between their loving family members and the fact that they went through something like this themselves, it really made for an authentic performance, and it really put this episode over the top on the feels meter. Now, as you're probably well aware, this story really hits close to home for a lot of people out there. My first thought when watching the episode was that this might be a case of divorce, but then when Winsprint was talking about her dad in the past tense, it hits me that this was more likely a case where her father had died. That isn't necessarily hard evidence. I've heard from some people that say even in a divorce situation, they can be referred to in the past tense, things like that. But just knowing the backstory it was based on, I kind of get the idea that, a parent having died is what they were going for. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It's I think it was kind of left vague intentionally just to appeal to a broader audience. And it really doesn't matter in the end because the lesson is the same either way. Now, as a disclaimer, I have not personally been through any kind of situation like this myself. So I can't really speak to any of this from any kind of a position of first-hand knowledge. That said, I have heard a number of stories about situations like this, and there is a very common theme amongst them, namely the new parent or potential parent struggling to appeal to the children in some way. Now, at a high level, the message of the episode is pretty obvious, or seems pretty obvious, and perhaps even a little bit forced in that it's just to be yourself. Just be yourself. It's a lesson that we've had many times in the past, and I know even I have said that phrase many times in my commentaries and such. But in this case, I've realized that sometimes it's difficult to even know what that really means, or at the very least, it's easier said than done. When a parent is removed from a family, regardless of the reason, there can often be a lasting connection that the children have to said parent. Then when somebody new comes along, the children could very understandably see that this is an invasion by an imposter, somebody who's trying to replace the lost parent and make them forget about them. And that could be a very difficult hurdle for the new parent to get over. And I think whenever you want something so badly that you'll do anything to make it happen, then you often end up doing things you wouldn't normally do. And in that sense, you are sort of acting like yourself in that you don't really know how to act and are just winging it, basically. It may very well be a lot different than how you act most of the rest of the time, but it's often all about whether or not you're in your comfort zone. It's easy to act normal when you're in your comfort zone, but not everyone is capable of being their usual selves when pushed into a new situation for which they have no experience. Now, regarding Quibble himself, I do have to say right up front that he was the perfect gentleman, honestly. It really feels like he's grown up a lot since the last time we saw him 3 seasons ago, the first and last time we saw him. Granted, we didn't really get to see much of what he was like outside of his element, being at the Daring Do convention and stuff, but I personally feel like he acted a lot more maturely in general than I might have expected him to, based on that last appearance. He was very willing to admit his own shortcomings, at least to Rainbow Dash, and he even made it clear right from the start that he had no intention of forcing his way into their family. He would rather have been miserable himself than have Winsprint hate him, and he believed that so strongly that he was willing to walk away if necessary. Because of that, though, he was kind of desperate to find some common ground and make a connection with Winsprint, and he went a little crazy trying to appeal to her interests. And of course, it probably didn't help that Rainbow Dash went a little overboard trying to help in this regard as well, or I should say a lot overboard in some ways. But, I don't necessarily think that she was too much at fault in this, because from what I saw, she was really only trying to help Quibble achieve the goal that he had set out for himself. And her going above and beyond to make that happen the way that she did is, frankly, well in line with her own character. So, honestly, I think she did the best that she could given the situation. And the biggest problem with this is that it's just all hitting a little too close to home for Windsprint. While very few details were given, we know that Wynn's dad was a Pegasus and a great flyer, at least in her eyes, and it seems pretty obvious that he and Wynn shared a common interest in buckball sporting events, and the love for the game was likely something that was just a really special, father and daughter connection kind of a thing there. Quibble, as an outsider and not really understanding this, just saw that she really liked buckball, and in order to try and make a connection with her, he tried to appeal to her by passing himself off as a huge sports fan, not realizing that she would view this not only as an attempt to replace her father, but to replace him with someone who is a rather poor imitation by comparison. And no, it's not lost on me the fact that Quibble, not only is Quibble not athletic, but he's also an earth pony. It's pretty clear that Windsprint is a pretty talented flyer, and this is yet another thing that Quibble can't really share with her like her father could, nor can her mother because she's a unicorn. And so this really wasn't something that was strongly highlighted in this episode, but I kind of think that these were all things that were weighing on Wynn's mind, because probably all she could think about is how her father is no longer there to share this experience with her. In fact, that could be one of the reasons why she really did not want to really go check out the museum, because her dad just wasn't there to share that with her. And it's just kind of yet another reminder of what she had lost. And of course, I don't see that it was ever Quibble's intention to actually replace her dad, at least not in any malicious kind of way. He just wanted to try and share her love for the game to show that he really did care about her. And really, it makes sense to me why he would do what he did. From his perspective, practically anything and everything of interest to himself was of no interest at all to Windsprint, meaning there was no obvious common ground whatsoever. And also, Windsprint pretty much shut him down on the one little area of common ground he did find, which was the Buckball Almanac he found at the museum. So he didn't really see a lot of options at that point. Now, misguided as it may have been, I very much applaud the fact that he forced himself to step so far outside of his own comfort zone to try and appeal to Windsprint, even to the point of trying to train with Rainbow Dash to achieve some semblance of sportiness or athletic ability in order to impress her. I was also rather impressed that he was actually able to finally buck a ball into a basket in the exhibition game, even if it was the wrong one, because that's a significant improvement over where he was at just a short time earlier. And yes, while trying to overturn a scoring result based on a technicality in the rules was in rather poor taste, and was a tactic that was clearly not well received by Windsprint, I still admire the fact that he was willing to go that far to try and keep the game going for her despite his own mistake, before he realized that she actually wasn't having any fun at all. And I think, again, that just shows how much he really does care about her, because he had no problem embarrassing himself in public just to try and do something special for her. Really, Quibble's biggest mistakes were his failure to admit to Windsprint that he simply couldn't be the sporty type of pony that her father was, and also his lack of patience in finding another way to make a connection with her. I think he was really afraid of losing Clear Sky and just pushed himself too hard to try and make something happen quickly so that he didn't lose out on this. This actually reminded me a lot of the CMCs, who kept trying to get their cutie marks, even to the point of forcing it at times rather than allowing it to happen naturally. When they finally realized they were focusing on the wrong thing and just decided to try and help other ponies as best as they could, that's when they got their marks. Similarly, when Quibble, thinking he had nothing left to lose, finally settled down and admitted his mistake, and that's when he finally did what he should have done in the first place, which is to simply be there for Windsprint, supporting her in her own interests, even if he doesn't fully understand them himself, and only then was he able to find some legitimate common ground. By allowing her to teach him about the game, he didn't have to lie about the knowledge that he didn't possess, and instead he supported her by allowing her to share her love for the game with him on her own terms. And as we saw, this actually led to a situation where he was able to quite naturally use his own interest of books and numbers and statistics and whatnot to make a connection with Wynn via the almanac, thus establishing some common ground. Rather than becoming a direct replacement for her father, he was able to instead supplement that by showing her a side of the game that even she hadn't seen before, despite her being an avid fan. And now that he has shown himself to be supportive and open to learning about her interests, Wynn Sprint may now be more open and willing to learn about his interests as well. And really, she's already taken the first step on that path by becoming interested in the same almanac that she had initially just dropped on the floor and walked away from. Now, just to be clear, this is definitely a sensitive topic, I'm sure, for a lot of people out there, and I fully realize that every situation is unique and frankly rather complicated, and there's basically never a quick magical solution to relationship problems such as this. That's honestly kind of true of any of the lessons that this show teaches. The show is intended to present scenarios that are relevant to real life, but simple enough for young children to understand, or at least well enough to engage with their parents in order to better understand the message that's being conveyed. The point of the story was not to try and say that there's just a simple quick fix to families dealing with divorce or death of a parent. I believe the point of the story was simply to promote public awareness of this scenario and to offer some tips that could potentially help families work through some of these difficult situations. And this was really a great story in that it had kind of distinct messages for both the children and adults who were watching. What I see for the adult message is to not try to push too hard to win the affection of the children in the family that you're trying to become a part of. Lasting relationships simply cannot be forced and have to occur naturally. For the children, I think the message might be to realize that when a new person is trying to enter your family, that if you should give them half a chance, because you might find that person can really be a great new friend at the very least. And that shouldn't just automatically assume that they're trying to actually replace your parents. And just to be clear, I think that's really where this needs to start in terms of it. You have to be friends first. Quibble is not Wynn's new father, not yet anyway. He hasn't earned the right for that yet. At the moment, he and Wynn have just become friends that are willing to explore each other's interests. It'll take time for him to grow this relationship to the point where she might consider him to be a father figure. And there's bound to be some more, bumps along the way, some of them perhaps pretty big. And perhaps he'll never be seen as an actual father, but maybe just a very close friend and, a mentor of sorts. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think you can grow to greatly respect someone and accept their love, wisdom, and guidance without ever getting to a point where you actually, think of them as mom or dad. Now, the world is full of examples of people sharing a close bond like that with others, regardless of whether it's a step-parent situation or not. But in any case, I am honestly really proud of Quibble Pants right now, and I honestly think he's going to be a terrific father to Wynn Sprint eventually. It's clear he cares quite deeply for Clear Sky and Wynn Sprint as well. And I gotta say, Clear Sky is really awesome as well as a mother. She seems very well grounded, and I love the way that she gently but firmly pushed Wynn to go through the museum with Quibble. Pointing out that skipping out on it would have been disrespectful after all the work that he did to try and arrange the trip for them and whatnot. Definitely some good parenting examples in general there, I think. And unfortunately, I realize we'll probably never see this family again, but regardless, this definitely looks like the beginnings of a great new family, and I expect good things in their future. And it's all around is, it's fun to see Quibble Pants again. I am aware that there are a number of, some number of returning guest stars on the show that we've had in past seasons. I don't know the list of names. I don't know how many there are. I don't know anything, so hopefully I'll be pleasantly surprised. I've definitely got some I'd love to see again, but we'll just see how the season all plays out here. So that's all I got on this one, everyone. Hope you enjoyed watching this episode with me, and for any of you out there who are in situations like this, I hope that you were able to get something useful and encouraging out of this story for yourself as well. So thanks for watching, everyone. I look forward to the next episode. Till then, see you later.